Hi, I'm Mike Frescona, founder of Multisport International, and I'd like to sincerely thank you for purchasing the Turbo Athletes video series. Today I'm here at the youth athletic fields at the YMCA in Jackson, Mississippi, and these fields hold a sentimental value for me because this is where my athletic career began. On the day of my first game, I proudly donned the maroon and white of the Phantoms 5-year-old T-ball team and played in front of a couple dozen parents. Little did I know, I was beginning an athletic career that would continue for the next 20 years and would conclude with me clad in the famous blue and gold of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And I can honestly say that not only do I remember that first athletic event just as well as the last, but I also remember every other game, match, meet, competition, and practice in between. I remember riding back home with my family after my final game at Notre Dame. And I remember thinking that I'd likely never again compete at such a high level of athletics for the rest of my life, and that for all practical purposes, my formal athletic career had just come to an end. I thought about what a positive influence sports had been on my life, all the great experiences and memories and lessons I'd learned. And as I continued to reflect on my athletic career, I tried to recall what occurrences in particular allowed me to have such a great 20-year experience with sports. And of the many things that came to mind, the two that stood head and shoulders above all the rest were my mother and my father. The conclusion that I came to was that I had a blast in my athletic career because from the very beginning, my parents sacrificed for me. And there's no telling how much money they spent on registration fees, uniforms, equipment, and travel just so I would have the opportunity to play. My mother alone drove literally thousands of miles getting me to games and practices, and my father spent hundreds of hours with me in our backyard, hitting me ground balls, throwing me passes, and running races. In fact, it was this time spent with my father in the backyard that taught me many of the good habits that would continue to propel me through even my collegiate athletic years. In retrospect, knowing how important that time spent in the backyard was, I can't help but to wonder what would have been the result had my father been armed with some professional-level training secrets and techniques. As a 5-year-old just getting started in athletics, what if my parents had even a few bits of the training information I now have filed away in my brain? How would that have affected my athletic career? Would I have been even more competitive? Would I still be competing today? Could I have extracted even more enjoyment from sports? What about you? If you possess this training knowledge, how could you affect the next 5, 10, or 20 years of your son or daughter's life? How much could you increase their enjoyment of sports? How far might it propel their athletic careers? Will it help them make the defensive play that will win next week's soccer game? Or might it trigger that hidden potential that creates the next Michael Jordan or Mia Hamm? Who knows? But this video series was designed to help you answer those questions. Here at MSI, our staff is made up of former college and professional athletes, as well as several sports science PhDs and athletic rehab specialists. We've worked with thousands of athletes from all over the United States and produced training manuals and videos used by virtually every major college and professional team in North America. And while we enjoy working with high-profile athletes and organizations, we have always had a desire to address the needs of young athletes and their parents. After all, why should cutting-edge training information be reserved for the relatively few athletes who go on to the college or professional level? What about your son or your daughter? Why should they not have access to the information that could very well propel them to a college or professional athletic career? This is why we decided to produce the Turbo Athletes video series. Turbo Athletes is designed to give you, the parent, a look at what we refer to as SAC training, or Speed, Agility, Quickness training. SAC training is designed to enhance skills that are universal and transcend any single sport. The goal of Turbo Athletes is to show you how to use SAC training to make your son or daughter a faster, quicker, more explosive athlete regardless of their sport. Enhancing these skills in your child will help elevate their level of play and increase their overall enjoyment with sports. So once again, thank you for your purchase, and I hope that you find this video series to be as helpful and enjoyable as we intended for it to be.